The lesson that I'm currently learning right now with this project is the only way through it is just to keep going.
Live your life within the moment, and don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older. So let us dance this night away.
Good morning and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. I am back from Ohio and I hope that you guys enjoyed the little surprise Wednesday video that I posted this week of my time with my family while I was away. We had so much fun and it was really nice to just rest and relax and unplug for the most part. So now that I'm back, I have all of the energy I think that I need for all of these projects that we have for the rest of this summer, starting with our downstairs powder room. So if you guys have been around for a while, you know that we have been planning and strategizing and just thinking about what we were going to do in our powder room. And I have posted both here on the channel as well as in my newsletter some ideas that I've had of what we can do in this space and have allowed you guys to voice your opinion on what you think that I should do. And so thank you, first of all, very much for taking the time to just review everything and give me some of your ideas and opinions. They really have helped me get to this point where we are today. So what we're going to do today is start on the wall treatment in the bathroom. And so if you guys have been around for a while and saw my upstairs guest room bathroom renovation, you know that I put up a board and batten wall treatment in that space. And I really do love it. We went ahead and painted it black and I think that it looks really, really beautiful. And so I wanted to do something similar in our downstairs powder room, but I wanted it to be a little bit different. So I'm going to pop on the screen some of the ideas that I've already showed you guys a few months ago and just kind of talk about where we are today. So this first picture is a picture that I really did love. I found it on Pinterest. I loved the circles and I just love that detail. I just thought that it would just be a really big elevation from what we've done upstairs in our guest bathroom. But I honestly just couldn't figure out how to create that myself. And I wasn't able to find anything that looked even similar to this that we could have just bought and installed without too much work. So I did also love this second picture where it kind of, it looks like almost like a library feel at the bottom of the space. And I also loved how they tied in that same wall treatment to the sink. But when I found this third picture, I really fell in love with it because if you guys know me by now, you know that I love Spanish style homes. It is the type of home that I would love to find one day. It would absolutely be my dream home. And when I saw this door, it just absolutely gave me those vibes. And so one of you, Leanne, saw this picture and immediately responded and said, you have to go with that door. Somehow you have to figure it out because it definitely ties into your love of Spanish style homes. And it was just, I was already thinking it. And when she said it, it just something clicked within me. And I said, okay, that is what we're going to do. And so that is what we are going to try to create today. But trust and believe, I have looked high and low to find this type of like fluted, coved styled wood, and it was almost impossible. But believe it or not, I was able to find some at Wayfair of all places, but look at the price. Almost $4,000. And we are only doing half of the wall. So half of the wall is going to be kind of this fluted coved wood. And then the other half of the wall is going to be wallpaper, which we will discuss later in the episode. So seeing that price, I was like, there's absolutely no way that I am spending that type of money for wood for a powder room that's only going to be for half of the wall. And so we have kept looking for other options. We actually contacted a couple of our local woodsmith, and just nothing was coming in at the price that we was willing to pay. So what we did was we went on to YouTube University, and we found out that there is a way that we could create it on our own. Is this something that I was thinking that we were going to like make from scratch? To be honest, absolutely not. I thought this was something that we were going to be able to buy and just go ahead and install. But in Jessica fashion, here we are, and we are going to DIY this coved wall all ourselves, starting from scratch. So let me take you outside and I can kind of show you the process of how we're going to create this wall, and then I guess we'll go ahead and get started with working. So I'll meet you outside in just a second. So this is the makeshift workspace that we have made right outside of our garage. It is already really hot outside, and it's going to get over 100 degrees today. So quite honestly, I don't know how much work we're going to get done today, but we do have this tent that's going to give us a little bit of relief from the sun that's going to be popping over the side of the house in probably like an hour or so. So while it's still a little bit cool, I thought that I would come out here and show you guys how we made this curved edge by using our table saw. It's wild. So let me turn the camera around. This is our table saw, and 9 times out of 10, a table saw is to be used for a straight cut. So you would simply take your piece of wood, you would align it against the saw blade, you'd push it through to make your straight cut. But in order to make a cove cut like we've done here, what you need to do is, instead of pushing the wood through straight, you actually turn it on a diagonal. And so what we found by watching YouTube is that they have a jig, which is this one here, that is made specifically for these types of cuts. And so what you'll do is you'll go ahead and attach the jig to your table saw. And of course, we did this a million times yesterday, just trying to figure out the spacing here versus the spacing of our blade. And once we found our kind of secret recipe, we have locked everything in so that every time that we push a piece of wood through this blade, it will cut it the exact same way. And this jig will just keep the wood nice and tight so it doesn't wiggle, and hopefully we'll have a smooth cut every single time. We currently have our blade set to the desired height that we want our cove to be. And what we've learned both on YouTube as well as in practice is if we would take a brand new piece of wood and we would try to pass it through with the blade being that high, it will chop it up and make it look kind of like this, which is what we absolutely do not want. And so what we've learned by watching YouTube is that what you have to do is you have to lower the blade all the way down, and probably down to maybe like a 1/16 of an inch. And while the blade is that low, you can pass your new piece of wood all the way through, and then it will lightly cut just a very little cove cut right there. And so then after that, you take the piece of wood out, you raise the blade just a little bit, and you take that same piece of wood and you push it through to make an even bigger cove cut. And then you raise the blade again and you push that same piece of wood over top of that blade to make it an even bigger cut. And you do about maybe 7 or 8 of those passes, and then finally you'll get to your desired height. You'll go ahead, push it through, and it should look like this. So of course I'm going to be showing you guys the step-by-step process as we get started in just a second. Mark has already gone to Lowe's to pick up some of the wood. We have decided to go with a 1x4 piece of wood, which unfortunately at Lowe's only comes in a 12-foot long piece. And so because the board is so long, it would not fit in Mark's back of his truck. And so instead we had to push it through the back of the window, which means we could only put in about 8 boards. So for sure we're going to have to go back. I'm thinking we're probably going to need about another 6 to maybe even 8 more boards to finish out this project, but we'll do that later. And so each of those 12-foot boards will then be cut down to 48 inches. And then that process that I just showed you, where we took the blade all the way down, pushed the board through, raised it a little higher, pushed the board through, a little higher, push the board through. Yeah, we have to do that for every single board. And we're thinking it's gonna be around 30, but maybe a little bit more. So yeah, it's gonna take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of patience, but I just believe that once it's up and it's stained, I think that it's going to be beautiful. And I hope at the end that I will say it was worth it. So it is very hot out here, and I pray that we can at least get a good 2 hours in so that we can go ahead and get this project started little by little. So I'm gonna go and get some water. I'm gonna grab Mark and we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I'll see you right back here in just a bit.
Life, having a good time, good to be alive. No bad days, only good vibes. Living my best life, having a good time, good to be alive. No bad days, only good vibes. Good time, good to be alive. No bad days, only good vibes. Living my best life, having a good time, good to be alive. No bad days, only good vibes.
So as you can see, it's just a small little cove cut, but already it's looking really, really good. And then, like I said in the beginning, we're just gonna keep cranking up the blade and then passing it through, cranking up the blade, passing it through over and over and over and over again. So here we go. So it's looking pretty good. This is the desired cove that we want. There will have to be some sanding, and that was just, we knew that from the very beginning that we would have to do a lot of sanding. There is this little spot here, but there are some areas like behind the toilet, behind the sink, that we're gonna have to cut wood and put wood, and so maybe this will be one of those pieces. But for the most part, as a first pass of our first real piece of wood, it's not looking too bad. One down, a billion to go. As we're continuing to cut, we're noticing that we're doing a lot of eyeballing, and while every single piece does not have to be perfect, we would like all of the coves to be as similar as possible. So we've taken a piece of wood. This one has like one of those big gouges in it, so we knew that this is probably going to be fitting underneath of the window. So we're going to cut off a piece of this wood because we do like this cove here, and we're going to make a template out of it. So what I'm going to do is just cut off maybe about this much of the wood, and then to one end of every piece of wood we're going to trace out the cove that we want, so that we're getting a little closer to each of the pieces of wood having the same depth right here. So we're going to try it out and see how it works.
That's life, having a good time. Good to be alive. No bad days, only good vibes.
So you can see here how these are just a little thicker than this one. So this is just a perfect example of how we can go ahead and trace this so that we know that the coves are around the same size.
Yeah, I'm living my best life, having a good time. Good to be alive. No bad days, only good vibes. Living my best life, having a good time. Good to be alive. No bad days, only good vibes.
So I know this was only a few minutes for you guys, thanks to the magic of the camera, but we have been working on this all morning, all afternoon. The sun is setting and we are calling it quits for today. But I really think that everything is turning out great. It's looking good, and I don't know if you can see it on camera, but just these kind of butt up against each other, I just already know it's going to look really, really good. Now, I'm not just saying this because there's imperfections in the wood, because you guys know that I really do like to beat up the wood that I'm working on. I did that on our mantle. I also did that on the cabinet that I have in our living room. I did that for the cabinets that we built in the kitchen. I like to, take a hammer and beat them up a little bit, take a chain, slap them around a little bit, even poke some holes in there with nails, and I just like them to look a little bit weathered instead of brand new. I kind of want these pieces of wood on the wall to feel like they've been there for a really long time. So we do have a lot of imperfections, a lot of saw marks, and I'm just gonna go with it. If we have some perfect boards up there, great. If we have some with a little bit of character, then we just have some with a little bit of character, and we're just gonna keep rolling with the punches. So I'm not going to show you guys every single cut that we're doing on this project, because that wouldn't be any fun for you on your side of the camera, but I will pop in and out and just kind of tell you guys where we are. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, by the end of this video that we'll have at least these boards up on the wall. That is the goal. Not sure how the week is going to unfold, but that is the goal for sure. So fingers crossed. So Mark has promised me some ice cream this evening because we have been working out in this heat literally all day long. So we're gonna go and probably get cleaned up first, and then we're gonna grab some ice cream, and then I will see you guys tomorrow morning. so good. It's so good.
Like a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Good morning. So we just got back from breakfast. We went to Monet's, as you just saw, and I had the absolute best breakfast sandwich that I've had in a really long time. It was the heirloom tomato sandwich, which had an everything bagel. It had some cream cheese, had some chives. It had some big, thick heirloom tomatoes on top with a little chili flake, pesto, a runny egg. It was so good. I'm on this heirloom tomato kick right now because they're in season, and that sandwich did not disappoint. It was so good. It was the perfect way to start the morning. And so now we're back home and about to get changed and get started on cutting. Believe it or not, we still are not finished cutting the wood. We have about 12 to 16 pieces still to go, and it's taking a lot longer than we had ever expected it would. Unfortunately, the weather hasn't been on our side this week. It was super hot. It felt over 100 degrees every single day. And then yesterday, when we thought that we were going to be able to get a good majority of the wood cut, if not completed in full, it rained all day. And so because we have to do all of the cutting outside due to just the amount of sawdust, we couldn't film at all yesterday. So here we are. It is Saturday. This video goes live tomorrow. And as much as I would love to just power through and get everything cut and everything sanded and up on the wall and get this video edited, I just know that all of that cannot happen within this short amount of time. So what I thought that I would do is I would show you a closer look of some of the pieces. We'll go ahead and take some of those inside into the bathroom so that you can see what it looks like. And then I'm going to go over some plans with you that I have for the space. I have made some decisions over the last probably 24 hours. I have purchased wallpaper. I have purchased lighting. I'm starting to think about the decor and how this whole room is going to come together, and I thought that I would end this video by showing you guys all of that. And then next week when we come back, hopefully all of the wood will be cut, sanded, and ready to install into the bathroom, and then we'll go ahead and get to staining. Hopefully the wallpaper will be up by then, and you'll get to see the next phase in this series. I'm thinking at this moment, and I probably shouldn't even say it because I'm probably going to go ahead and jinx myself, but I'm hoping that this is going to be a 3-part series. I'm hoping next week will be all about putting the walls together, and then the following week will be the full reveal. That's what I'm planning, but we all knows what happens to a good plan. So let me go inside. I want to grab my computer, and then I'm going to show you around a little bit with what the wood looks like in the space, as well as some of the plans that I have just to pull everything together. So I'll see you guys inside. Looks really good, doesn't it? Just imagine what it's gonna look like once everything is stained. I just think just seeing it right here, and then of course adding in the trim pieces as well as the wallpaper, I think is going to be really beautiful. So I hope you guys can kind of see the vision that I'm going for so far, and then next week you'll kind of see it all come together, but I am very, very happy with it. So let me show you some of the other things that I have planned to do in this space. So if you guys have been around for a while, you know that I have been going back and forth about what wallpaper I'm gonna put up here in the powder room. So I'll go ahead and put up a couple of the options that I had initially thought about using in this space. So as you can see, these are definitely bold and colorful, and that's kind of what I was initially going for. You'll see a lot of pattern, you'll see more color than you do in the rest of the house. And I really did think that this space could just be that pop of the house that would allow me to play a little bit more with pattern and with color. And so these were the three options. I actually really loved the middle one, but you guys did not love it, neither did Mark. And so as much as I still really do love this one and just think that it's really interesting, I decided to just maybe pull back just a little bit. And I still feel like there's going to be a pop in this space, but I'm just gonna bring it down a little bit more so that it flows with the rest of the house. And so on this next slide, you'll see some other options that I have been thinking about. So, the first one kind of plays on the pattern, but it just mutes it down just a little bit, makes it really neutral. I also thought about doing a grass cloth wallpaper, which I thought could be nice and just add some texture in the space. But then when I saw this third one, there was just something about it that I really loved. And I loved the flowers, I loved the pattern, I loved that it gave me a pattern without it being overly bold. I really loved like the little orangey brown flowers. I love kind of like that rust color, and I want to pull some of that in the space as well. So I am gonna go ahead and move forward with this third option. In fact, just last night I placed the order, and I hope that it is going to be here sometime next week in time for me to film it for you guys for next Sunday. So ultimately the space is going to look a little like this. And I just really love it. I think that it's going to look really beautiful in here with the wood that we're gonna place all around the space. We're gonna have it nice and stained. I think that the wallpaper is going to be a really nice pop in here. We are going to bring back, we got a new toilet. We are going to bring back our pedestal sink. Well, actually, Mark broke our pedestal sink. It was leaning against our freezer outside, and he accidentally hit it and it shattered to the ground. So we're just going to replace it with another pedestal sink, just because I think that it's just nice and simple, and because we're going to have so much going on in this space, we didn't need yet another statement piece for the sink. So we're just going to go ahead and get another white pedestal sink. And then for the lighting, I ended up going with this light up here, and I'm not sure what it's going to look like when it comes, but I'm hoping that that kind of brownish, yellow, orangey color that you see in the wallpaper, I'm hoping that the light kind of matches it. Fingers crossed. It should be here on Wednesday. So of course, as soon as that comes, I will open it up, and of course I'll film it for you guys so that you can see. But I'm really hoping that that one is going to work. If not, I have ordered a couple of other ones just as a replacement, as a backup. But my first initial thought was I really like that light. So we're gonna see how it works out. And then we're just gonna go ahead and play with some decor, which I'm gonna hold off on showing you today. I got a really cool piece last week when I was at home in Ohio with my parents. We did a lot of thrift shopping, and I bought this piece that is going to be absolutely stunning in this space. I also have a DIY project that I can't wait to show you guys. It's going to be awesome. Cannot wait for that. And then just putting in all the little last pieces here and there, I really think that this space is going to be special. Even though I didn't go as bold and as bright as I thought I was going to, I really do think that this wallpaper is just gonna look really nice in this space. So those are the plans for right now. The rest of the day I am going to be taken Mark outside and we're going to continue to keep cutting and sanding so that next week you guys will see everything up on the walls. That is the plan. I'm so sorry that that didn't happen today, but this is a real renovation. I said this in my newsletter on Friday. If this was HGTV, I would already have the reveal for you, but this is real life. We have daytime jobs that we work at, and so we're doing this work on the weekends and in the evenings and based on what the weather is doing. And so none of that really was in our favor this week. So we didn't get as far along as we wanted to, but I'm hoping that next week we'll be able to get all of the wall treatment up for you guys so that you can see it and that we can enjoy it. So with that, I am going to leave you guys for today, but don't worry, I am just going to continue filming everything that I'm doing. Is the moment that I close out this video, we're just going to continue on, and then next week you'll see what we've been up to all week. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the newsletter on Friday and then back here next Sunday. Okay? All right. Have a good one. Bye. Finding a stain color is always the hardest task. It's like I know that I want a little bit of walnut and I want a little bit of chestnut, maybe a little pecan, and honestly I think I'm just gonna have to make my own color.